Hi, this is Phil, and I'm here to tell you all about the Capes and Lunatics Patreon. Don't miss out on our comic book creator interviews, including our monthly Chichester chats with comic book legend DG Chichester, superhero movie brackets in our search for the worst comic book movie of all time, and many, many more specials, all completely uncensored. Access starts for $3 a month, full video when you pledge $5 a month. Check out the link in our show notes or go to patreon.com/capesandlunatics. Hope to see you there.
This is Luke of Perich, and you're listening to the Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks podcast.
Anyone seen any justice? I don't know. It's kind of lost in here.
Yeah, I was just telling you that you found the worst superhero movie.
I don't know, man. We got some good contenders coming up, man. October, we got Meteor Man. We got some good contenders coming up. All right, kids. Welcome back to Unlimited Justice. Again, right in the middle of Sub-tember. So, yes, I'm joined once again by Mr. Will Allred.
Hey,
Legionnaire, Mr. Will Allred. That's right, because this time, more Legion superheroes. Legion lost 1 through 12 from 2000 and 2001.
Hard to believe it was that long ago.
So, yes, instead of trying to tackle this issue at a time, yes, we'll try to cover this as a whole. But, yeah, like I was telling you before we jumped on, yeah, I'd like a little kind of some background on this. So, when they get thrown, when they go through that singularity or whatever it is, did they show that in the regular Legion book?
Yeah, they had been taken over by, or some of them had been taken over by the Blight, I think.
Yeah, I know they were mentioning that in this story, yeah.
And I'd have to look. I can't remember which issue, but well, it would have been the last issue of Legionnaires or the last issue of Legion of Superheroes, volume 4. It would have been in one of those final issues, because those series were canceled.
Oh, right? So they canceled those and then went to Legion Lost?
And then went to Legion Lost.
Oh, so we didn't even see what was going on at home while this was going on then.
No. And then
wow.
After this comes Legion Worlds, which was a 6-issue limited series. And then I think after it comes The Legion, which was just a single ongoing to replace it. And then it ultimately gets canceled because of Final Crisis, I think, or leading up to Final Crisis.
Oh, Legion of Three Worlds or whatever.
And then we get Legion of Three Worlds, which you see we'll be discussing next week.
So I didn't know that. I thought maybe like there was a Legion book going on at the same time as this, so like the rest of them were like maybe looking for it. We'd see them like looking for them, like, hey, what's going on? Or
I think that's it's been a while, but I think that was kind of what Legion Worlds is we get to see what was happening while they're gone, and then we get to see what they're doing when they get back, because spoilers, they get back. Okay.
Yeah.
So what, this is the first time you've read it, right?
Yes. Okay. Yeah. So, I mean, it was interesting, especially some of the twists, especially like at the end. Yeah.
Yeah. I hated that.
Yeah.
I remember hating that at the time.
I was like, really? They went there?
Yeah. And I think they kind of undo it during the Legion.
Okay.
Because I think Kid Quantum had a crystal.
Oh, yeah. Because all right. It was at the beginning of this, so it's like what they're coming through the singularity, and what is it? Element Lad become basically is the only one who can survive this whole thing, and he throws the rest of them in, whatever fancy crystal that is to keep them alive. And then they get thrown out, very, very, very far from home.
Exactly, outside the universe, right?
Yeah.
And then he tries to bring him back in, and he supposedly gets thrown back in time as well, because we find out, of course, at the end that he's been around for 1 billion years or more. He's seen multiple stellar cycles.
Oh, yeah. He even said he's created civilizations and, hanging around as planets start to evolve and stuff. So I was like, wow, we went there?
Yeah. And then the other twist was Apparition being
I wasn't even there. Yeah. That was another shocking thing too. Saturn Girl was just basic. Yeah, made them think she was there and was basically in their heads for a lot of this series. And
and then at the end, the what 9 and 10,
11 and 12. Oh no,
11,
no,
yeah, 10 and 11. 10
or the
and
last
11.
one too.
Yeah, where she makes them think that the Legion has come to rescue them. You know, you see.
Oh yeah, no,
yeah.
that was before. Yeah, I think it was like by 9 or 10. Yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah. They really did not. Yeah, that really wasn't appreciated. Yeah, because it looked like I knew something was up. I'm like, it can't be this easy. You know, it's a trick. But I didn't see the Saturn girl twist coming. I thought it was just like another alien thing or something. I was like, oh wow,
she's been messing with their heads. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and then toward the end they start behaving like the Legion again.
Yeah.
They come together, and then Livewire quits. And then goes and takes out the thing, right? That has then become both the element lad and that omniphage or whatever it was.
Yeah.
I think, and I don't remember. I'll have to check this, but I think he comes back.
Well, that's what I was going to say. Did
Legion?
That's what I was going to say. Did either of those deaths stick? Either Livewire or Element Lad? Did those stick for a while?
I think Kid Quantum. Is it Kid Quantum? Is that her name? Or
I
Quantum
think,
Kid?
I think Kid Quantum. I think it was. Yeah.
I think because she has one of those crystals that he had created. I think they're able to bring him back as Element Lad and not crazy old whatever he was.
Okay.
I am God.
Exactly. And then I think they're able to bring Livewire back too. I just don't remember. Oh wait, no, there was another death, Monstrous.
Oh yeah, man, yeah. The Element Lad. That was the shot. I was like, man,
Whoa, that's not cool, bro.
And now I wasn't familiar with her. Was she new to like the Reboot League or?
I think she came out.
Like, had we seen her before the Reboot League?
No, I think she was. I think she was just specific to the Reboot Legion.
Okay.
So post 0 hour.
But they did bring her back. Did they bring her back or?
Let me look here.
Yeah, because I wasn't familiar with it. Yeah.
Because I remember reading. She was murdered by the progenitor, who was an eons old element lad who had been driven mad due to an eternity of solitude. So no, that was it for her.
Wow.
Hardcore.
Oh my lord. Yeah. He's driven mad because he's like billions of years old. Because even when they showed up, he's like, wait, which one are you again? And they're like, you don't remember us? And it's just like, well, yeah. It's like for you, hey.
Yeah. Do you remember the first one, a couple seconds from your first minute of life,
from years and years ago? Yeah.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Oh, we should say this is by Abnett and Lanning. Yeah.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Looks like her first appearance. I'm not finding it there. But I did like. I did like the character. I thought she was interesting.
Yeah.
Looks like she appeared in. Yeah, she had appeared like mostly in Legionnaires before and Legion of Superheroes, but Widening Rifts was number 125 of Legion of Superheroes, and that's where the rift, they take care of the rift and where they're dealing with the blight and all that stuff. So I forgot that she had I was like, wait a minute, is he going to recreate her? No, she's dead. So that was she was a casualty.
I was thinking, but if not before, always then when their reboot happens, they bring people back. But wow.
Yeah, I know.
Wow, a death that actually stuck in comics, kids.
Well, at least for the last 22 years,
true,
right?
True, yeah.
Let's see. History. Yep. She has not come back that I have seen.
Wow.
Very interesting. All right, and then so I did like, and now Shikari, was that?
Yeah, that's what I was. Yeah, Shikari. Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. Yeah, did she ever actually? I mean, she went back with them, right?
I think she did go back with them. Yeah, so
Yeah.
she shows up in the Legion and Legion Worlds, I believe, which is
Cool.
what takes place after this. So yeah, I liked her character. There's also, I mean, I really liked Gates from this era of Legion of Superheroes, but he wasn't in. He shows up in the Legion when they get back, but he wasn't in part of Legion Lost.
Yeah, I remember Gates a little bit because wasn't he part of that team that went back during like final night and stuff?
I think so.
Yeah. I remember him. Yeah.
Let's see. 0 hour.
I'm just looking at the list of characters. Oh yeah, this whole thing with Brainiac 5.1. I was like, did they de-age him, or was that just because of the reboot? Or
well, when the reboot, he was all of them were teenagers. Right?
Yeah.
But the 5.1 upgrade, I don't even remember why that came about. That was something that happened, toward the end of that other series for some reason.
Because I was going to say he did look young in this story, but I was like, is that just because they were teenagers after the reboot? And
all right, let's see. Legion Flight Ring. It doesn't really have. It says that he entered the progenitor and his eyes changed color. So he does come back at some point. His eyes were blue and his hair was red before his mind entered the progenitor. I thought it was cool that he got his arm back, just to sacrifice himself, right?
I know, yeah, I know. Or was that just a it's like, oh yeah, we want to kill him if we were going to get him his arm back? Not.
Here he goes.
And like there was a Legion on Brainiac's frontal lobe or something. It's like, yeah, they would have given you a stroke in a couple decades.
Yeah, whatever. And that might have been something. I forgot about that. That might have been referring to something from the pre-Crisis Legion, maybe. Or even the 5 years later Legion, pre-0 hour. There's so many legions to refer to, right?
Oh yeah. Again, again, since I haven't read much, I'm always confused. I'm like, wait, reboot Legion?
And then there was that Titans Legion of Superheroes Universe Ablaze series. That's a 4-issue miniseries.
Oh yeah, I don't think I read that. Yeah, I should read that.
It's been a long time. I can't remember where that fits, but I was looking at a reading order. Let's see. So the Legion, which takes place. So we have Legionnaires and Legion of Superheroes. Those two that had the L numbers for the Legion. They get canceled and then replaced with Legion Lost, which ran 12 issues. After it comes Legion Worlds, which is just a 6-issue limited series. And then after that comes the Legion. And I think the Legion only ran 39 issues.
Well, that makes sense because I mean, Legion Lost was monthly, right? That's a year right there.
Mm-hmm.
Then Legion Worlds was what, 6 months?
Yep.
Then you get the Legion, and like you said, that runs to what, Final Night?
Final Crisis.
Final Crisis. Yeah, Final Crisis.
It looks like it goes 38 issues, and then there's a Legion Secret Files 3003, number 1. Cheeky, huh? Really cheeky.
3003. Yes.
Nice. Very nice.
But yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember all the stuff that happened in this.
So I mean, if you like this version of the Legion, it's pretty focused, and I mean, we're talking 100 issues, maybe. I mean, we were doing some of the math, but maybe 150. Well, 39 plus, so maybe 200 issues. So you could get all of these issues pretty easily, and if you wanted this version of the Legion.
Yeah,
which I think is pretty cool.
Heck yeah. But no, just the whole twisted element, lad. Because that Shikari is like, wait a minute, he created my people. He created the people that hunt us down.
Yeah, this is weird. This is getting weird.
Yeah.
We did get Wildfire back finally.
Yes. Yeah, I thought that was interesting. What was that? It was like around issue 9 or 10, I think. When he was just like, he's like, I wonder if any of the women think about me.
Yeah.
He's like, even though I don't have a body, but
Yeah.
I sold the desire, but no body.
Yeah, exactly. Isn't that's just bad?
Yeah, because they don't know he's there at first. Yeah, they find like his energy floating around, and like build him another containment suit, and it's like, oh, thank God we recognized his energy signature. He just would have been floating out there.
Yeah, just floating around, which is this was a very bleak series, because the Legion is usually about hope, and the progenitor, and then what was the progeny? Is that what they were called?
I think, yeah.
I mean, of course, they were built to be exactly the antithesis of the Legion. The Legion's about diversity and about hope and coming together.
Yeah, they wanted to destroy everything that was different. Yeah,
yeah,
which was basically anything but them. Yeah,
and the art. I mean, we started out with Oliver Coipel. I'm gonna butcher it. Coipel.
I think.
Coipel. I don't know how you.
Let me see here. Issue 1 was Oliver. Yeah. Coipel, Coipel, yeah, Coipel, yeah.
And then toward the end of the series, we got Alex.
Here, let me pull up issue 12 and we'll see. Was it too different? I mean, I took me at least 2 days to read this, but I was gonna say, did we get 2 different artists? But
yeah, I think Coipel was like the first 4, maybe, or the first 6.
Oh no, Oliver. That's the same one that's saying on issue 12. Maybe somewhere in the middle. Is there?
Yeah, I think there was somewhere in the middle.
Okay.
Let's see. There it is. 12 issues. Okay.
I was like, because I looked at 1 in issue 12. Andy Lanning did the inking also. Besides co-writing, the inker.
Let's see. Looks like Olivier, I guess. Olivier, not Oliver. So Olivier Coipel. I'm sure I'm butchering that too. I apologize. I'm an ignorant hick from the sticks. All right. Number 4 had Pascal Alix, Alixe.
Okay.
5 was back to Olivier. 6 was Pascal. 7 was Olivier. 8 was Olivier. 9 was Pascal. 10 was Olivier. 11 and 12. So yeah, there were just a few issues in there that Pascal Alix. I'm mispronouncing that as well, but I'm trying.
But yeah, they had a link for the Legion Worlds #1. I clicked on it, and the first thing I see is Mon El. which remember, kids, he was erased in 0 Hour, but I believe not too long after that, like Superboy, leather jacket, Superboy finds him like with amnesia in the 20th century. They fight for a while, then it's all right, but then I think he gets, is it lead poisoning? He gets some kind of poisoning. You have to put him in a version of the Phantom Zone, and then like, the machine broke. He's stuck in there. So I'm assuming the Legion pulled him back out at a certain
yeah. And then I think they actually hang out with that Superboy some in.
I know there is
Legion.
There is one cross. Well, I know there's one. I think later on they do, like when he, Jeff Johns puts him in the T-shirt. I think he hangs out with them there, but I think the earlier, like in that original 90s series, there's at least one crossover. I can't remember if I read it, but there was like a crossover, I think, between his book and the Legion, whatever Legion book at the time.
It may have been the Legion. But the T-shirt one was probably the Mark Waid Legion, or actually that book that Mark the 3-boot Legion. After this one's over, we get the new Legion, and they that book becomes Supergirl and the Legion of Superheroes after like 17 or 18 issues or something. I forget what it was.
So I'm assuming the Legion didn't remember Mon-El when they pulled him back out of the Phantom Zone this time.
Nope, because that didn't happen for this version.
Yeah, because 0 Hour had wiped them out. Yeah.
I mean, it was interesting. I liked the reboot era because we got to see bright, shiny new versions of characters that had been around for a while. And we get to see them reintroduced. Feral Lad went back to the future with them. After Final Night. Yep. So we had him, and then we had like new characters like Kid Quantum, Gates. I like Gates a lot. It was kind of a fun era, and then it was coming out twice a month. You basically had it Legion of Superheroes one at one point, and then Legionnaires coming out 2 weeks later. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, because when they rebooted after 0 Hour, that's like the first like major reboot, right? Because after Crisis on Infinite Earths, they really didn't reboot, right? They just I think they
shuffled around the histories and tried to make it all work.
They just cleaned it up a little bit and maybe did a time jump. But that was really completely reboot. Okay.
And then I believe we see this Legion. The Legion goes to issue 38, and then we get Final Crisis, Legion of Three Worlds, and we get the original Legion, this Legion, and then the Mark Waid Legion, I think. And those all get collapsed in Final Night, I think, for another reboot. I can't remember for sure. I'd have to. Well, we're going to read it next week.
We'll Legion of Three Worlds next week, kids.
Yeah.
I'm excited. Oh, that'll be some nice wrap up for the month. So we're gonna get basically, every Legion version of Legion so far.
It'd be pretty cool. But the Legion got pretty dark with the storyline before Legion Lost, and then this storyline, and then I think it's been so long since I've read it. I think it starts to kind of work its way back to being a little more hopeful, and this was about picking them apart and showing why they work and how they work.
I mean, people like say it about the 90s, but I think it's more like the late 90s or like really early in the 2000s. It's like, I don't know if it's intentional or not, but DC and even Marvel, it seemed like a lot of books got dark around that era.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if it I don't know if it's intentional or not. That's kind of thinking when they were kind of like, everyone was kind of straying away from the comics code. So they're like, oh, hey, let's see how much we can push this and,
let's see what we can get away with. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Superman, if you look at Superman's like one of the best barometers because if you're trying to make Superman dark, then you are obviously not paying attention. Okay. Because that's just not the way it works. Batman is always pretty dark, or at least has been for the last 3 decades.
I was gonna say
4 decades.
I'd say since 1986. Dark Knight Returns. Yeah.
Batman, my favorite character.
But so we have our original Legion. We read about them during the Great Darkness saga and End of an Era. That was probably their Great Darkness is probably their best known story.
Yeah.
Then we have the reboot Legion, which we read the first part, and this is toward the end. They've only got a 6-issue series and then a 38-issue series after this. And then I think the reboot Legion is the Mark Waid Barry Kitson Legion. And I think that's the Legion that comes in as part of Legion of Three Worlds when we get Final Crisis. Final Crisis is what, 2005?
Final Crisis, I think it's like 2009 maybe. Somewhere right in there. Because I think Infinite Crisis wasn't.
Oh, it was before that.
2006. So
yeah, okay. So
Hold on.
There's been so many crises.
I know.
2008.
There we go.
So yeah. So I think the last appearance of the Legion would be the Legion number 38. The series finale, yep. So then they wouldn't basically appear for another 4 years until we got. So that would give the time for the next Legion book, which I think is Mark Waid and Barry Kitson. I'm not sure about that though. Let me. Let's see.
Come on, Will. Yeah, no, I'm just gonna.
Yeah, Legion of Superheroes. Let's see. Heiden's Legion Special. The Legion 1 to 4, collects Legion 25 through 30, Secret Files. Okay. Yes, Mark Waid, Barry Kitson. It's got Brainiac 5 with his hand on a desk. And he's, yeah.
Okay.
I can look inside on Amazon. There's a trade paperback of it. But that's a completely different continuity. The Legion are rebooted again. And then we get this Legion, the original Legion, and then the 3-boot Legion are what we'll be talking about during Legion of Three Worlds. And I don't know. One of the things that I love about the Legion, so I mean, I think the series was really, really good.
Mm-hmm.
The art was different. It was much different than anything else at the time. And I think it was one of Coipel, however you say it's kind of earlier books. He would become kind of a powerhouse at Marvel, right? And later, I think, in the decade.
Mm-hmm.
But as good as the writing and the art was, it didn't feel like the Legion to me, because one of the things I love about the Legion is the sheer number of characters, right? I mean, they're called a Legion, not a team. They're called a Legion. And there's, seeing all of those characters, and that was one of the kind of the gut punches at the end of the series was, you get to see Cosmic Boy, you get to see Spark, you get to see Leviathan, or, and you get to see all these characters who aren't really there. Spoilers.
I know that's like the it's the end of 7. Yeah, the last page, like the Legion shows up to rescue them. Yeah, and it's Element Labs with them. So they did that fake out before we got the last
reveal.
Yeah. But what about that? I mean, there's a lot of good sci-fi things in this, like that issue 7, like that being, I forget his name, is basically like the Superman of that world, but basically the world was a big illusion just to like
keep him happy and keep him away from them, because he's a pretty violent dude, right?
Because the world had they discovered peace and everything. They're like, let's give him something to do and
keep him happy. So we'll go do that. Yeah,
basically just put him on this barren world with this illusion and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
He could save the day every day.
Yeah, exactly. And fight his Lex Luthor, right?
And that was so good. Was it Ultra Boy? Whenever you turn invulnerable, he could see through the illusion.
Exactly. Yeah. That was a kind of a cool. Yeah, he's got an interesting power set. Being able to flip through invulnerability, speed, or strength.
Yeah,
but only one at a time. Yeah. And that was something else that they did. That I'd forgotten is that when the Legionnaires wake up from their things, they're speaking in Interlac. So you have to decipher that. This is an A, this is a B, and I think in the 3rd letter column they tell you what they were saying.
Oh,
yeah, saying this. We're gonna you can translate it yourself here, but if not, we're gonna tell you what they said next issue. In the letter column, And Interlac's one of those long-standing things with the Legion. You know, they'll have Interlac stuff in the backgrounds and things like that. It's one of the things that the Legion has kind of always had, which is kind of cool. But yeah, as good as this was, I kind of missed getting, you know, the full-on Legion that I'd been used to.
Yeah,
You know, at the time.
it was weird being so far away from, especially for me. Yeah, I like I said, I needed the background because I thought maybe there was another Legion book, the regular Legion book going on at the time, and you saw what was going on at home. But now, no, wow,
they canceled them, and and like I said earlier, you know, I completely forgot that they straight up killed Monstrous.
Yeah, man, he blasted her, yeah.
And then I'll have to, you know what? I'll look that up now.
So when they bring back Element Lad, does he remember any of this or no?
I don't think so. The Legion. Let's see if I can figure out what happens to. Let's see.
I was gonna say, I figured if they brought back Element Lad, it was probably gonna be, you know, it's like, oh, it's from a time before he, you know, pulled all that, or yeah. Because they always want to retcon that killing of people.
That's not
when they bring their heroes back, right, Will?
Yeah, exactly. That doesn't happen. 5 years later, post 0 hour. Okay. In the Legion Lost Limited series, it's shown that the events from Widening Rift had caused the Element Lad to become lost in deep space for billions of years, whereby his perspective changes to a point of arguable insanity and he becomes the extremely powerful villain Progenitor. He is eventually killed during this story by Livewire, who sacrifices his own life in the process. But Garth later reappears in another form. Kid Quantum had taken the few crystals left from the destruction of the Progenitor and had left them on Shanghala, the hero's resting place. It turns out that Garth's essence had survived in the crystals. Jan's body had regrown, but housing Garth's consciousness. The reincarnated Garth is able to use both the Element Lad and Lightning Lad powers in his new crystalline body, although his relationship with other Legionnaires is strained due to his outward appearance resemblance to Progenitor. Before this plot is resolved, the Legion's continuity was rebooted a third time in 2004.
Wait a minute. So it was Lightning Lad in
his body.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. I sort of remembered him coming back, but it wasn't really Element Lad. It was just so. Yeah, I guess they never really brought Element Lad back. Okay.
Wow.
Wow. Okay, cool.
Then they rebooted again.
And then they rebooted again. Hey, this isn't working. Reboot.
I mean, you have so many characters and they're so far in the future. I mean, shouldn't Legion be like the one book you don't like reboot? I mean, again, I know you would have characters eventually like age out and die and stuff, but it's like, couldn't you just, you know, bring in new heroes? Just, you know, just keep. I mean, how awesome would that be? It's a mainstream comic where the characters actually age, and it's been going on since, you know, when, the 50s?
Yeah. And I think they tried to do that a little bit, but I don't know. It never really stuck. The problem. Oh, we're going to go deep nerd here. You ready?
Oh, boy. Yeah.
All right. Do you remember the new universe?
Yes, I do.
One of the things that the new universe did was you had a story, and then a month passed for the characters between the new story. Well, that makes that happened for the first few months, maybe first 6 months of the new universe, but that really hampers your storytelling because you can't tell a story, you can't tell a multi-part story.
You can't do a cliffhanger.
Yeah, and you can't you can't do cliffhangers, and maybe you don't want 6 months to have passed just because 6 issues have been published, right? I feel like that really kind of hamstrung, and that's why they abandoned it. You know, we're not going to make sure 1 month passes. Maybe we'll catch up some point, but you know, whatever. I mean, you know, Peter Parker is not 75 years old right now, right?
Yeah, exactly. Again, I think they always want to just keep the classic versions of the characters because we see how well, you know, especially in these days with the internet, how people take to different versions of characters.
Exactly. Well, I mean, and as successful as DC was with it, to a point, where you had the Golden Age Flash, Silver Age Flash, Golden Age Green Lantern, Silver Age Green Lantern. Then you had Wally West. That was really, I feel like that was really the only success. Well, that and Green Lantern to a certain extent, because we got Kyle, right?
Yeah.
But it took destroying kind of all the legacy and everything to get to that point. So I feel like the Flash was this successful passing of the torch,
Yeah.
right? But that was really the only successful one.
Yeah, and again, it's like when you do multi-generational, it gets weird with the aging, especially in, okay, let me pander to one of our fans.
Batman, my favorite character.
Like when you like when they aged up Dick Grayson, from Robin and Nightwing, it's like, okay, he can, that was always the problem. It's like he aged how many years, but it's like they never want to age Batman over a certain age.
Yeah.
And then as you add more Robins behind Dick Grayson, then it gets even weirder, because you got Jason Todd, then he has to be older than Tim Drake, who has to be older than Damian Wayne, and it's like the more Robins you added, the timeline gets like, oh, how many years did he have each Robin? Like a year or two? That was one of the major problems with New 52. They wanted all those Robins, and it's like, oh yeah, the universe has only been around for 5 years, so it's like, wait, so he only had each of them for like a year?
Yeah, and okay, I'm gonna get off my lawn. I really like the fact that we had Batman, we had Dick Grayson as Nightwing.
Yes.
And then it was a big deal when Tim Drake became Robin. That was a big deal. And they made it a big deal because, Batman needed Robin to keep him from being so grimdark, right?
And it wasn't like they did it for 2 seconds. It was at the perfect time, because they killed off Jason Todd in 1988. 1989, that Batman movie came out, and they're like, oh, he doesn't have a Robin in the movies. Let's keep him solo for that, 1989. 1990, that's when. So they basically went like a year or more between Jason Todd and Tim Drake. So.
And then we got, what I think is still a really great story, A Lonely Place of Dying.
Yes.
We're talking about Batman. Why are we talking about that? We're talking about Dick Grayson. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
Batman, my favorite character.
And, we had this, before he could really even become Robin, he had his own limited series, basically training to become, Robin.
Oh, yeah.
And then things got weird. It got weird.
Oh yeah, I mean they showed in the Batman books before he even got that first miniseries. Basically Bruce Wayne was like, "You're not putting on that suit yet. We've seen what happens. Yeah, you got to train." And yeah, so I'd say we got at least a year of that, I think, before we even got to that miniseries.
And then there was that first miniseries. Then there was a second one.
Robin 2, The Joker's Wild.
Did they have holographic covers on that? I can't remember.
I don't know if it was 2. 2 might have. I know 3. I think 3 had something like that. I can't remember if 2 did or not. But yeah. Not to go too far down the Batman rabbit hole, but yeah, no. In Joker, Robin 2, it looks like Joker kills off Mr. Freeze. I think, did they say Denny O'Neil? Somebody said, "Oh yeah, let's kill off Mr. Freeze. He's not that popular." So they kill it. It looks like they like shoot him, throw him in the river or whatever. The character gets a new popularity from Batman the Animated Series.
Yep.
So they bring him back, and it's so great because it's like, I don't know, it's only like a year or two later they bring him back in Nightfall, and he wakes up in the morgue and he sees, As-Bats in that armor, and he's like, "What futuristic year is this? What Batman is this?" It's like it's only been a year or two, dude.
Yeah. Wait till Batman Beyond, dude.
Oh yes, he was ahead of his time in that.
I see what you did there. Nice. That was actually a really cool toy too, because I remember buying it for the boys. They had the animated series, Mr. Freeze. You could take his head off, and he had the spider legs on. Yeah. It was awesome.
Nice. Yeah, I know. So me and Lilith were talking to somebody, and we were saying, yeah, it was like some of those animated series toys, like they had like limited runs. Like did somebody say like maybe like there weren't a ton, they didn't make a ton of the Robins or something like
Yeah, I can't remember, but
Robin, so they were harder to find and stuff.
But yeah, we totally went down the Batman. But Legion's cool. The Legion's really cool.
Yes.
They actually had an animated series as well.
Again, except for Sub-tember, this is usually a Justice League and Justice Society podcast. So I mean, it's allowed.
And that's Legion of Superheroes in the 30th Century was, I think that's maybe on HBO. I haven't never been able to. It was I never got to watch it. So
yeah, I didn't watch that either.
I'm going to put that on my list to watch. But they also did an animated adaptation of that that came out.
Yeah. No, I thought I looked that up on HBO Max and I didn't see it. So I don't know.
Yeah, let me.
Of course, I open up HBO Max. What's the first thing that pops up? Because it's Batman Day. I wonder.
Batman, my favorite character.
All right, let's see. According to Wikipedia, this was 2006.
What, the animated?
Yep.
That sounds about right.
And it looks like the animated series had its own spin-off comic, which lasted 20 issues.
Ah. I just want to know where you can watch it.
Yeah, I kind of...
Here, let me go.
It looks like it went 2 seasons.
Yeah, was Superboy in that? Or am I remembering that wrong?
Yeah, I think so. I think Superboy was. Wow, yeah, it went 2 seasons. Let's see, other characters. Episodes. 13 episodes in season 1. Ran from September 23rd of 2006 to May 5th of 2007. And then the second season went from September 22nd, 2007 to April 5th of 2008. So, cool.
Oh, the comic might actually be on DC Universe Infinite, it's saying.
Oh, cool.
Let me open this up. There was a link. Yeah.
It's got that real animated feel to it.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Yeah, you said 20 issues, right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so the whole series is on DC Universe Infinite.
Nice.
If we ever have an opportunity, well, maybe we'll have to do.
We have to read this one, yeah.
Yeah.
What is this? Let's see. There's the 3-boot, then there's the Bendis one, then there's. Wait, no. Then there's the New 52. Then there's Bendis.
Yeah.
Then there's this one. So we're up to like 7 versions of the Legion now.
Bendis is the current one. Oh my god, did you see that meme I put up in the group chat? The Bendis one.
No, I'm gonna look at it right now.
It's oh my god. Yeah, the CapesandLunatics. Yeah. I'll have to explain this. Okay, kids, it's Wong from She-Hulk, and he's saying, notice how he used the words Bendis run in quotes, doing the quotes with his fingers. I did, yes. That's because it doesn't run. It sucks. I saw that online today. I'm like, I have to share that. Oh, my Lord.
So, overall, are you becoming a Legion fan?
Oh yeah, I told you when I feel like a hankering to read more of something when I'm reading something. Yeah, I know it's good. Yeah, no, I enjoyed this because I'm like I want to read more Legion.
Yeah, I really feel like the reboot was kind of a high point. Not anything against other versions, but it was kind of the version that I really gelled with. I mean, I knew about some of the history, but
and again too, they threw out a lot of the baggage because I mean it had been what like 20, 30 years of baggage there, so they're just like, yeah, let's start from the beginning,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it kind of works because you're not bogged down with the rest of the DC universe continuity and stuff.
Yeah, you can kind of do your own thing. It was it was a lot of fun, and plus it was coming out twice a month, so you had Legion of Superheroes, Legionnaires. I really enjoyed this version of the Legion, and was sad to see them go. When they finally.
Yeah, those first couple we read, I enjoyed, and
Mhm.
like I said, it had to have been good because it's like, again, when you're starting from the ground zero and working your way up,
Mhm.
and Mark Waid is the first guy. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, yeah, it's gonna be good.
This is how we're setting this up. Here we go. And then Abnett and Lanning did I mean, this is a good series that I think gets to kind of at the heart of what the Legion's about. Personally, I wanted to actually have more of the Legion in it,
Yeah.
but I mean, this is a really good series. And then they come back for Legion Worlds after this, and then we get the Legion series, the Legion, for a little over 3 years before it's canceled.
I mean, I liked it. I mean, yeah, it's a little darker than the Legion stuff we've read, but it's like, I kind of get it. I mean, it's good. It's very science fiction-y.
Mhm.
And again, I guess you're only going to bring part of the team because, or you're really going to feel that isolated if all your friends
if all 30 of them, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. If all 30 of you show up, you're going to feel it's like, oh, we're stranded, outside the universe, but oh, hey, all our friends are with us. So I guess
and they have all this power, and we can really much do anything, so it's not a big deal. That was something else that I think was good about this. Communications barely worked on the rings. You couldn't use the flight rings anymore.
Yes.
And so they, as
Only
Lightning Lad, as he Livewire tried to fly and fell flat on his face, right?
Yes. It's like, yep, only people within flight powers already are gonna be able to fly. Yeah. But no, yeah, I mean, that amps up the drama too, when like, Ultra Boy realizes that apparition really isn't there and he's separated from her.
Yeah. I mean, and there's some, especially with Saturn Girl, what she does with her powers and how that kind of works out.
And then the whole thing with her and Ultra Boy, did they ever deal with that when they get back?
I think so, but I think so. I think it's an ongoing plot for a while because Lightning Lad is presumed dead at this point.
Yes.
So I don't know. I can't really remember how that all played out. And they got canceled and then were rebooted again.
Yeah.
I would be curious to see what was going on at why were they rebooted? Did they just why did that happen again? Because they'd only been around at that point since 0 Hour, so it was what, 10 years?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. But it's a version of the Legion that I really like.
Was it? Did it get rebooted before Infinite Crisis? Because I was gonna say, could that have been the?
That might have been it.
Yeah,
that might have been what caused because that was in 2004, right?
It might have been. Was it
2005
or 6? Yeah, it might have been. Yeah, I think it was either 05 or 06. But I'm saying, but it altered the universe, so I could see that rebooting them again because
they do that so many times.
Again, every crisis it either changes whether Batman knew his parents' killer or not. Are Ma and Pa Kent alive or not?
How many Jokers there are, and messing with the Legion.
Exactly. And oh, hey, which Flash gets trashed this crisis? Who gets spontaneously combusted this crisis?
Yeah, it's the Legion is. I know we were talking about this on Sector 2814, but the New 52 reboot was a big deal, except for Green Lantern. It wasn't. They just kept on going with their stories. So, and it wasn't for Batman either. It was just more Batman, right? But the Legion, I don't think has ever really had that kind of armor, that they can just go on. Unfortunately.
And again, like I said, I think they take the hit because they are in the future, so that when stuff gets changed, it radically changes them. And two, I mean, one of their biggest strengths, I think, hurts them during that too. It's like, since they aren't as connected to the rest of the DC universe, it's like, oh yeah, we can mess with them a ton,
Oh yeah.
because you don't have to worry about, oh, it's not like oh, hey, who appeared first, Batman, Superman? Oh, hey, where did the JSA fit into the timeline? No, it's just the Legion is just out there by themselves, their own island. So it's just like, oh yeah, we could tweak them however we want, especially now that we, if you don't have like a tie to it like Superboy or Supergirl, it's like, yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Yep. Yep.
Like I said, good. It's
good and bad.
It's good sometimes, and it's not so good sometimes. Yeah. All right. Anything else, William?
Nope. I think
Will's
I'm
like,
glad this is turning into a Legion fan, and it's reminding me how much I like the Legion too. So
Will's like, yes, my next move, go to bed.
Yep, go crash, man. Go crash.
All right. So, yes, as we said, yes, next week for our final Sub-tember episode, we'll be covering Final Crisis, Legion of Three Worlds 1 through 5. So,
yay. And those are oversized issues too, I believe, aren't they?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think I've ever read these. So, yeah,
Okay.
I would. They could be. All right. So, yes, kids, because, yes, the final week, because then in 2 weeks, Lilith Hellfire returns.
To see what we have wrought.
Yes. To talk some Black Canary issues, because Ray, all of a sudden Ray got DC Universe Infinite and has suddenly become a huge Black Canary fan.
Really? Where's our Green Lantern feedback, Ray?
I know, Ray. We get weekly feedback on the Quantum Zone. Yeah. No, for some reason he's a big fan of Black Canary now.
Not Batman.
Right. Oh well, he's always gonna love the Batman, but
Batman, my favorite character.
For some reason, he's not as vocal about his Batman love. Your secret dark Batman love, Ray. All right, kids. So, send your thoughts on Final Crisis, Legion of Three Worlds, or hell, any of the Legion stuff we covered this month. We'll read it. All right. So, yes, send us your thoughts. Email us, CapesandLunatics@gmail.com, or call the voicemail 614-382-2737. That's 614-38-CAPES. And remember, you can find Unlimited Justice on Facebook, on Twitter. Join all the social medias and Facebook fan groups we have. The YouTube channel. Please subscribe. Everything's free. Again, even all our interviews always go up there. The latest one, Mr. JMD Mateus, and his big announcement is up there. So, yeah, smash that subscribe button so you don't miss any of it.
Smash it.
All of September's up there.
Smash it.
That's what she's going to do when she comes back. All right. And most importantly, the Patreon. Please, if you can, subscribe. Again, we're paying for this out of our own pocket. Every little bit helps, but $3 to $5 gets you early access to creator interviews, including the monthly Chichester chats.
I got the good mic out for you guys.
And superhero movie brackets, because Lilith loves pain. Pain. We will find the worst superhero movie of all time.
You have.
I don't know, man. There's some contenders coming up. All right. And of course, Capes and Lunatics and Capes and Lunatics Sidekicks merch. Find it all at Linktree, linktr.ee/Capes and Lunatics. All right. Mr. Will Allred, master of the Green Lantern Corps, master of the Quantum Zone, master of the Legion of Superheroes, Kickstarter, all of it. Where can people find you to talk to you?
You can find me at Wallred. That's at WALLRED. That gets me at Gmail and Twitter and Facebook and other social media that I've probably forgotten that I've set up. If you want to find out more about my self-published comic work, you can check out Crossover Division at crossoverdivision.com. The 4th issue was just funded on Kickstarter and should be heading to the printer soon. You can also check out Diary of Night at diaryofnight.com. And if you like to see me hang out and annoy other podcast hosts, you can tune in to Explain Yourself with writer Kevin Joseph, where he and I hang out with comic creators on Kickstarter and talk about their live projects on the platform. And that's Explain Yourself. And because I'm sure you have great taste, that must mean you love Quasar as much as we do. So you can always find out more information about Quasar at the Quantum Zone, quantumzone.org.
I'll put it in my navel.
Hey, boys, you look at the party? I love the party. Seems like I'm getting a package every other day.
All right, kids. Thanks for joining us again. Next week, the last Legion of Superheroes episode.
We started this Sub-tember. We're finishing it.
That's right, man. This is Will Allred, man. starts and ends all these theme months, man. All right, so yes, next week, not so Final Crisis, Legion of Three Worlds. I knew when it came out, I'm like, this ain't gonna be the Final Crisis. Come on. All right, kids, come back next time, and remember, there's no place like home. Good night.